How y'all doing? Happy Friday, darling.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Jesus.
Happy Friday, Jesus.
Come into the space.
Girl, yes.
Yes, come into the space, family. We got lots and lots
Do we
to
ever?
talk about.
My God.
Come and get some of this good energy, y'all.
Yes.
Woo! Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
How you doing?
It's like, what else do you say?
Right. What else do we say?
Man.
First, we'll start with how is everybody doing? Hey, y'all. What's up?
What's up, y'all? I'm
y'all?
over here trying to start a watch party. Help me, Lord.
Yes, y'all. I know. Listen, how are y'all doing? We hope y'all are having an awesome Friday afternoon. We hope that y'all are staying in your right mind, okay? Your right mind.
Your right mind, honey.
That's how I'm doing this Friday. Is I'm in my might rhyme today. So go ahead, y'all said loving the Black Panther vibe.
Honey,
yes,
listen. This is a special show. We gonna let some more folks come into the building, but y'all needed to get this blackness on today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is my Black Panther look, and who gonna check me, boo?
Okay.
Nobody. Okay. Nobody.
The struggle.
And I ain't get the memo, but I'm here. I'm here in heart. I'm here in spirit. Listen, all day, every day, all positive people. Listen. I'm in mourning for
the democracy in America. So forget y'all. This is what we wearing black today. This is why.
Exactly.
Woo.
Well, we got like 15 folks in here watching. Thank y'all so much. We're gonna ask each person who is watching right now to please start a watch party. We have a lot to cover today, and we have a little special edition, the sip that we want to put out there for y'all. So we want folks to see this. Please start your watch parties. We so appreciate you.
We about to go in. Listen, if you guys are like us, we have been emotional all week. We have a lot to say about the current state of affairs. While we may be feeling slightly optimistic, we also are very much realists. What's up, Georgia? I see you, girl. And we have a lot to say right now about this country that disappoints us time and time again. And we hope that you are also feeling that way. And we have prepared a special section of the sip for y'all tonight to address how you might be feeling in your soul and to express some of the things you might be wanting to say about this country of ours. So
what's it called? What's this special edition called?
This is called the Sip Read of the United States of America.
That's right.
We're going to let a couple more people come in. We got to start music and everything, y'all. It's a whole preparation. So come on in.
It's a whole shebang. So what we sipping on while we waiting for more folks to come in? What we sipping on today, y'all?
Yes. Well, I still have my Je t'aime from last week, darling.
Yes,
okay. And I will probably drink the whole bottle tonight because
I'm sure you ain't. I'm surprised you ain't drinking on Tuesday.
Okay. I should have started drinking on Tuesday. Now today, I'm like, I done made it through work. I made it through the week. Now I'm about to get a little toasted because this election has taken me through my paces.
I've had alcohol almost every night this week. Let me just go ahead and tell you. Right
Listen.
Now. I mean, I had a little something just to calm me down because I really, I felt like last week I was like, man, whatever. Like, I'm good.
Right.
But then I was waking up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, checking the news, like, right, and feeling just like this anxiety in my chest. Like, this is crazy.
It's not easy. What we're going through right now. I remember in March feeling like every day was ever more stressful. And here we are in doggone November. And we still are dealing with all of that we're dealing with. And it just feels compounded by the last 2 weeks. Man.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
It's a hot ham and cheese mix with
lettuce, pickle, mayo, honey mustard, tomatoes, onion, a side of barbecue Lay's chips, and
barbecue Lay's
Fanta. Okay, and some Miracle Whip.
Okay, with some pickles,
some onions, some cheese.
The struggle is real. Oh my God.
So real.
A full sandwich of a hot mess.
Listen, I'm going to need y'all to comment one or two words that just sum up how you are feeling right now. How are you feeling about this election, coronavirus, whatever it is? Sum it up, because we want you to woo-saw up in this episode. We want you to let it all out. This is a historic moment. Come on, y'all. Let us know how you feel.
Let us know.
We're going to start our read in a minute, but yes, I hope y'all saw that post that I made on Facebook about the votes in Georgia and Pennsylvania.
Girl, the memes are taking me out. The latest one, did y'all see the one where Biden is coming up behind Trump to whisper? He's like, "You better call Tyrone and tell him." I was dying. I posted it to my stories because that was hilarious.
Man.
Yeah, how y'all feeling? Let us know. Just put one word in the comments of how you
And if you don't know how you feeling, what you sipping on? All right, because I'm over here having some Chardonnay with your cafe.
Yes.
Trying to get my life together.
Yeah.
So excuse some of the sounds in the background, but we here, man. We here.
Yes.
Thank you, Black America. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Yes, honey. Listen, yes, can we talk about Black Americans that come and save the day time and time again?
Black women.
But why do we have to?
Right.
Black women. Black women.
Right.
We can get into that.
Oh no, we got a whole read. We trying to keep it cute, y'all. Cause listen, this read right here, listen. I want y'all send your kids out now. Okay, this is your
kids out.
Announcement. Put your headphones in. Right, cause
this is not child friendly.
We got a Black woman's read for the United States of America, not Black America.
That's right.
Well, maybe Black men who voted for Trump, but everybody else,
right? Camille's confused. Listen, I'm confused too, sis. Like,
yeah.
I'm confused. Anthony Titus says, "Bless and place it all in God's hands." I mean,
listen,
I'm with you, but also, like, we're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get to that too.
I feel you, Anthony. But at the same time, bruh, we need more. We need more.
Yeah,
we gotta learn how to take some things into our hands.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? As well, we got to take accountability for the world that we have created.
Accountability.
We got to be our own saviors, y'all.
We're gonna talk about that. But thank you so much for being in the space.
Yes, thank you, and I appreciate your feedback. Absolutely. Oh, we have another one. How is this election closed?
How?
We're gonna address that in the read too. We're gonna address that.
Address as well.
Listen, pour your glasses.
I'll miss you, Georgia.
And you got some nice wine and a nice glass. Come on, girl. Get your sip on.
I'm having a little tequila, tonight. Okay?
Honey, yes. Okay.
Tequila kind of night.
That makes sense. It's a tequila night.
Miss Thing says, skip the wine. I'm going straight to tequila.
I'm gonna try not to, be too quick with it. Because then I'll be on here slurring and y'all don't want that. Thank you to Lavender. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's my birthday sister. What's up, girl?
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Listen.
What does
exactly what it means. It means Donald Trump. That's exactly what it means. I'm with you, Grace.
We got you. Okay.
Yeah, but my girl D, we used to study at Berkeley and we used to work in the admissions office. What's up, sis? Thank you so much for joining.
Yes,
listen. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, for everybody new who's watching, please start a watch party. We want everybody to see this.
Yes.
Please share, because we were about to go in. Okay.
Yes. And put that NSFW because it's not safe for work. Please, like we said, take your children and put your headphones on, do what you got to do because we're about to give a read to the United States of America. And this is for all Black people and people of color everywhere. So it is not going to be censored. So we're trying to give y'all a warning.
It is not.
Okay.
And we appreciate that, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And we have one for you. Okay.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching.
And we hope you'll still be watching at the end of this read.
Because it's all love, baby.
It's all love.
Exactly.
We gotta. The thing is, we gotta talk. We have to talk to each other so that we can address these things going on. But yeah, so I'm ready when y'all are. So let's get it.
You ready?
Well, I mean, we are 10 minutes in. I would say, without further ado, we could just go ahead and get started. We hope that you all are well. We hope that we have given you the time. What up, Vonette? You came just in time, girl, because we about to start
just
in time, sis. Just in time.
Shout out to our Trini sister, Vonette.
Yes, what's up, girl? So we have thought long and hard about this, y'all, and this is our collective emotions. I'm going to say something, Nick going to say something, Carrie going to say something, but this is our collective emotion about how we feel about this here United States of America. So we hope that you have got your glasses, everything that you got, and you are ready for this because let us go ahead and begin. Happy Friday, y'all. Can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of The Sip entitled The Read of the United States of America. Today is November the 6th, the year of our Lord 2020. And we come to you today, Father God, to give said eulogy on behalf of the current state of our fight for democracy and a united nation.
Hallelujah.
America, you ain't shit. You're whack as hell, and you're going to get this read I have for you because you had an opportunity to do better. And instead, you did the same BAN shit you always do. First off, Black men who voted for Trump can kiss my entire ass. And yes, all of the Latinx and Cuban Americans and everybody else who voted for him too of color, fuck all of y'all. Really, Kentucky? Mitch McConnell? Really? I mean, it boggles my mind. Florida, you're trash, you've been trash, your mama's trash, yep, I said it. And forgive me, y'all, but if you was in any of the counties that voted for Trump, you're trash, okay? Also, you Christians voting for Trump, or who didn't but are still waiting on Jesus to come and save you. Where he at, sis? I'm gonna need him to come through, sis. Stop praying and get to work saving your damn self from churches you literally pay your tithes to. For them to hand it over to Trump and support policies that kill and harm your people, get the entire hell on out of here. And for those of us, sixth generation African-American descendants from slavery, who are tired, who are justifiably worn, and who consistently wake up every day in a country where close to 1 out of every 2 people firmly believe in the denial of white supremacy and the overall suppression of the majority of rights of people of color in this country, I am here to tell you that yes, we can do our best to celebrate should Biden manage to win the presidency. But we must also realize that there is still so much work to be done. Just because Biden wins, it doesn't mean it's over. This is just the next chapter in our continuing fight for justice, for our people, for our country, and for our world. F you, Trump. Go ahead, Monique. I'm done. Your mama trash. Yes, I said it, Vonette.
Get it, Raj. Wow, America. First and foremost, you trash. But are we really surprised, though? Like, if we really allow ourselves to think of all the ways that America has done us harm, I think that we would say that we saw this shit coming from a mile away. And I know I'm going to say some things that we've heard time and time again, but damn it, it must be said again and again because 70 million people voted for this imbecile. 70 million. 70 million people looked over all the egregious things that he has said and has done for the past 4 years and voted like there was no tomorrow. All the lies, all the racism, all the crybaby Twitter rants, his lack of brain cells regarding anything policy, his lack of showing what an actual leader looks like, his inability to empathize with all of those who have died from COVID. And the list goes on and on. But nah, once again, none of that matters to y'all. But like I said earlier, are we really surprised? No, we're not. So let's start with these white evangelicals and the black ones too, because let's be honest, toting your little Bibles and your little scriptures, singing your little whack-ass songs, preaching God is love, blah, 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 blah. And most of y'all suckers voted for this monster, so fuck you. All of y'all trash. Mm-hmm. And you black folks who take up space in their churches and idolize these preachers who, at the end of the day, don't really give a shit about you and our culture. Mm-hmm. Please wake up. Now, I know y'all saw Paula White chanting some weird tongues and claiming victory that Trump would win. Really, ma'am? You are trash with her maka, asking the African and South American angels to come to America and allow Trump to win. Ma'am, you are a whole clown. Please sit down. Honey, you don't want these ancestors to come up here and light you up. And you people who follow her and give her, and all of them, and give them all of your good coins in the name of God, stop. I am absolutely done with folks using religion as a manipulative tool to control folks. And if you allow yourselves to be controlled with good that God gave you, and use a whole fool too. Man, once you let someone to take your ability to think for yourself away, then they have won. But you know what? Learn to think for yourself. We have a brain for a reason. Don't let anyone tell you that your thoughts are not important. Kindness, empathy, and accountability simultaneously are three traits most folks do not possess. Be kind to folks. Have empathy for other folks' experiences, not like your own. And check yourself and your people when you see some terrible shit being done. This year has proven to be one of the toughest that we'll probably ever go through. And it ain't over. We're dealing with this trash, election, COVID, financial heartache, but we as a people are resilient. We have so much more work to do as a nation and as a people, and we have the power to do it. And as my sister Raj said, Biden possibly being elected isn't going to make all of this go away. More than ever, we need to stick together to help dismantle the system that was never created for us. We need to build our own, period. I am blessed that week after week, I can come into this space with my sisters, Raj Jalari and Carrie Joy, and invite other dope Black women into our space to share their beautiful stories. All is not lost or bad this year. We will make it through this stronger, and you can believe that. And I dedicate this show to all of our ancestors. America, do better, because we sick of you, girl.
Okay.
You better read. Sick of you. And fam, I just want to kind of not end it, but because the conversation continues, the work, as my sisters have said, continues. This is just another opportunity for America to show their ass. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping that every single one of y'all are paying attention, stay woke. And I want to share a piece that I was able to perform with my sister Raj Dulari on an amazing song called America. And I actually wrote this back in 2017. So listen to these words here. 1492. I can think of 1492 reasons why we never worked, America. Why broken promises made up the pillow on which I cried myself to sleep, dreaming that just maybe there wouldn't be a 1493. But now I'm at about 2020 and my pillow is so drenched in tears. So you're wondering why I feel so down, wondering why I always seem to bring up the past when the only present you seem to offer me is consistency. America, you promised me you would change. You promised that the seeds of greed and hatred that were sown into this foundation would be uprooted and destroyed. Your vows were supposed to be self-evident, but words etched in stone are irrelevant, especially when bars are built around them, blocking up all of your unwanted children born out of your love affair with profits and convenience, your love affair that I have inherited, because anything that you have loved, you have plundered. this land, my body, my culture. You promised me you would change. But your amendments have amended nothing but semantics, making change that's senseless, systematically built on inflated promises and nothing but your word. I'm sorry, but I don't buy it. America, I'm trying, but I should have believed you the first time when you manifested a destiny that did not include all of U.S. I think I only love the thought of us. Because when I look back at our history, I realize that there was never really a U.S. to love America. I would like to say it's not you, it's me. But nah, baby, it's you. And I know that they say communication is the key, so I am asking you, when will you unlock these chains? When will you defend me as your own and not just something that you own? Why is freedom only a conversation we can have during our pillow talk? How do relationships like this even last? They say communication is the key. So America, open up, because I'm running out of reasons to stay.
Woo! Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand how we feel right now? I know y'all feel it. I know that y'all understand where we're coming from. As much progress as we've made, there is so much work to be done. And it is still so incredibly disheartening and disappointing that almost 50% of our country voted for support of Trump and for support of his racist and white supremacist ideals. We cannot stand for it, y'all. Let this be the beginning, not the end of this horrible chapter. Let us work even harder than we ever have before to unify our communities, to unify our neighbors, and to do better. America, you need to do better. Period.
Do better, baby. And until then, I'm over here hanging with my girl, sipping on some.
Okay.
Make it through the rest of this damn here.
We needed to get that off our chest.
We really did. Thank y'all so much.
Yes.
Man. And big shout out to Diane. Good to see you in the house.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching.
We love you, lady. Listen, y'all. Well, I'm gonna put on a little sip so we can get back to our vibe before we bring on our guests. And if there's anything else y'all want to talk about, but just to let the air out in the room. But we hope that this gives y'all a little bit of an emotional release about how many of you are probably feeling in this time right now. This is not an easy journey that we're on. But we can do it as long as we stay together, yo. We can do it as long as we stay united and positive. Right. So we love y'all.
And that's really what we do. And that's what's so maddening, this whole Candace Owens Blexit BS. Sis, you literally trying to divide up Black people against Black people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're a danger. You're a threat. And people are following you. They are following you.
And that's what's most dangerous. That's what's most threatening is the people that are actually looking to her as a leader in this space, not recognizing how they're literally walking into their own demise and their own destruction by following her ignorance.
Yeah. Man, that part. And that's what I said. You don't have the ability to think for yourself. Because I grew up in church. And I'm not dissing God. So I always have to say that. Because people feel like if you speak against the church or if you speak against certain parts of Christianity that are garbage, that are old and worn out and not productive at all, then they think that all of a sudden you have let God go. No, y'all don't understand the freedom that it is to be loosed from all that bondage and to actually have a brain that I can use for myself to think. And so many folks, that's the thing. It's if they can control you and they can control your mind. That's why, at this point, I don't even feel like it's about Democrat versus Republican. It's Trump is like a cult. The people that love him, it's like a whole cult because it's mad Republicans that are this guy is trash. I'm not voting for Trump. So it's not even to me about the policy of being a Republican. It's about them loving somebody who speaks to their values. Them loving somebody who, when he says Mexicans are rapists and they come over here and pillage and they're like, yes, finally somebody that says what we say at home with our family. That is that's really terrifying. It's really terrifying. It's like some Handmaid's Tale stuff, but we're not gonna get on the Handmaid's Tale. But
Why was I saying under his eye this week though? Because y'all, I need Biden to come through. Whatever.
Listen, all my Handmaid's Tale folks, please give me a thumb up in the comments because y'all know this is starting to look a little bit handmaidsy. Okay. So I mean, I
think what irks me the most, especially about people that are like, well, I follow Jesus, so I have to vote for Trump. Listen, y'all don't recognize that if Jesus was alive today, we would have crucified him the same way he was crucified 2,000 some years ago. Right? Killed by the state for advocating on behalf of poor people, marginalized people, the widows, y'all forget what this is about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For the poor folks that are out here voting for Trump, he don't get to about you. Pay attention.
He doesn't even know that even the evangelicals, though. I don't understand how Trump became synonymous with religion. The only way that he became synonymous with religion is by the endorsement of the evangelicals, but he never was a religious man at all.
It mind boggles me to my very core. What has this dude ever done that was Christ-like? I really if anybody is watching that has a different
answer the question.
Answer the freaking question.
Answer the question.
Answer it. I have yet to find somebody. How does he align with your values? I really am. I'm very interested.
I posted earlier this week, Trump didn't make America racist. He made the racists feel comfortable enough to show their faces in public. That's the thing.
That's right.
And that's how we get to almost 1 in 2 people still voting for Trumpism in 2020. You know what I mean? Trump did not make something new out of this. He just exacerbated an issue that's already been prevalent in our country.
That's right.
So,
absolutely.
For those of you who have not, who want a quick update just for politics in general, we're still hoping that Biden will pull through. We do not have any updates on that front. The Senate is neck and neck right now, from what I understand as of right now. Republicans 48, Democrats 48. House totals, Republicans are 194. Democrats still hold the lead 212. I think it's important for Black women to discuss politics, just like we discuss everything else. So I want to bring that as to the part of the step. And I'm going to need y'all to light a candle, listen, pour a glass, say a prayer, do what you got to do so that we can make it through this section of the drama, okay? And Biden can go on and slide in the White House, and then we can deal with Biden and the issues that we have with him. But for now, can you say a prayer that the man just freaking wins and we could get to, kick Trump's ass out the White House, please? Okay?
Please, and thank you. Barisha said that Candace is trash. I dropped one of my Black friends because she posted one of her videos. So I have a question for you. I thank you for bringing that up, Barisha. Would you just drop one of your Black friends who either voted for Trump or supports this whole Blexit thing?
Should we be answering?
Are we answering this question?
Yeah, I want y'all to answer, and then I also want the folks who are watching to post. Because I want to know what y'all think too.
Right. Carrie, you want to go first? Do you want me to?
Sure. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sure.
And honestly, I feel like, we talked about this a little bit before. I remember, Raj, you mentioned something that I feel like summed it up really well, right? Is if you vote against my best interests, if you vote against my human interests, if you vote against my humanity, then it's really, there's no space for you in my circle. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how I can be friends with somebody that doesn't recognize my humanity enough to see that they're voting for something that's going to harm me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So at the end of the day, I feel like it just shows me who you are and how you actually view me as a person in your life. And so I don't feel like it's I got to end a relationship. You did that by telling me, you know what I'm saying, that this person that you support that clearly invalidates me and my humanity. By doing that, you tell me exactly who you are. So I don't know.
I agree with you 1,000%. I was going to say the same thing. I think, a lot of folks love to say, our differences are what make us beautiful and yada, yada, yada. And I'm cool with that to an extent. But if you have a bad intention behind your opinion, because all opinions ain't great. And this, like I said before, this ain't a matter of Democrat and Republican. This is a matter of some trash and a lot less trash. You know what I mean?
They both trash, but
because Biden, Biden, I'm not over here just 100% a fan of him either. But when he addresses the American people, I feel like he is leading in a way that makes you calm down. There is a speech going around. It was the speech when Obama won against McCain. And people are sharing it because they're like, we haven't seen a leader like this since basically Obama and Biden, where basically it's like the whole crowd. And this is when McCain is like, he won fair and square and the American people have spoken. And the crowd started booing when he said Obama, and he shushed them. And he was like, no, I have respect for this man. He has campaigned hard. He has worked hard, and he is deserving of this. And Black people are celebrating because they never thought this shit would happen. And I was like, wow, even though I didn't agree with all of McCain's politics, the fact that he was able to make them people shut up in the crowd, and by the end, they were cheering for Obama. That's a freaking leader. And it's that, and that's when you look at like what's happening, when you have the person at the top that is race baiting, that is gaslighting, that is doing all these things. And if Trump came out tomorrow and said, you people shut up, I'm going to concede it, they would be like, okay.
Right. They would hate it, but they would have to follow.
They would hate it, but they would follow him. But when you have that trash leadership, it's like, bruh.
But you know,
my daddy said they're going. I was just going to say, my daddy said they're going to have to drag Trump out in a straight jacket.
I want to see it. Listen, I want to see it.
I'm here for that.
When they drag him, honey, I'm gonna be like this with the glass, watching the whole thing on TV.
Honey, with the glass.
But
so I'm sorry. This is.
Oh, I'm just and to answer the question, and just a continuation of what Carrie said. If you know, how can I have a relationship with you if you don't have a relationship with yourself, and you can't have a relationship with yourself as a person of color and vote for Trump? You cannot possibly value your wallet more than you do your own life. And if you do, it's unfortunate. It's sadder to me that you don't see your own value. And if you don't see your own value, how can I can talk to you. I can try to give you some, you know, I mean, by the time you go to make the vote though, you kind of are a lost cause, but I could try one good time. After that, you don't have a relationship with yourself. You don't love yourself. How am I going to trust you to love me?
Self-hate. Absolutely.
Come on now. Yeah.
Vonna says she dropping them hard on the floor.
She said
they gonna crack like eggs.
I need that to be a song. Hard on the floor.
Yes, Vonna. Anthony says, money, hatred, and lack of education causes separation. If one of my friends voted for Trump, they would be set down and corrected. But what if you can't correct
how though? Like what? Because a lot of people who follow Trump, they're so invested in the sensationality of Trump, but when you start to discuss substance with them, they can't. So what correction is going to happen there?
Exactly.
And it's
blind.
No, absolutely. And it reminds me, right? And you know, I know Mo, you couldn't like really understand like the way we grew up, especially in the church, right? Being taught these things from a pulpit, and a lot of people follow these things and never. I remember the first time that I started asking people like what they truly understood about the Bible, not just what you heard on Sundays, not just what they taught you to believe, right? Like, but what you truly understood about like the book itself, the historical context around it, how things were written, how things were translated. Do you know the history of it? And nobody can answer my questions. Well, no, you know, God, he sees his ways are above our ways and his thoughts are above our thoughts. And like, you know, there's no accountability to each other, to our understanding, to reclamation of our minds and knowing who we are and choosing to actively participate in your world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just believe everything that somebody told you because they're the anointed one, right? You have to understand who they are, what their intentions are, and understand that intentions don't equal impact. You know what I'm saying? Like we
that's right.
I'm just wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up and choose. And like you said, like y'all have been saying, choose to actively participate and be conscious about what's going on in your world. And like James Baldwin said, we have to be able to critique the conditions that we were raised in, right? To critique the education system that we were raised in. That's when you're able to, you know, wake up and understand that you are human in this world that actively participates, that plays a role, that you actually create the world that you're involved in, right? By critiquing it.
Yes.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm done.
But also, why are you praying for someone to come and deliver you? You know what I mean? Like seriously. And
Deliver yourself.
also, how many times have we prayed for God to deliver us from this, from the virus, from whatever? And yet here we are. And
yet
you
here we
know,
are.
here is Trump and we're 4 years in. What are you gonna do? When are you gonna get up and do something? So
That's
not
right.
that y'all haven't, but we just saying.
We just saying.
You know. So
yeah, it says, friends with a Trump supporter, how can two walk together unless they be agreed? If we don't agree on racism and wish they were supreme, we cannot walk together. It's really plain and simple. I'm with you.
Preach, I preach.
That's it. So, how y'all
What
doing?
about the Sisters in Power though?
Yes,
We have
Carrie. We have guests. We done got off on a tangent. Go ahead.
Listen, we needed to get that out. We needed to get that all out.
You know, no.
We needed to get that out. And thank you all for tuning in and listening. We really appreciate everybody who has started watch parties. If you're new and you're watching, please share this. And go check out our new photo that we put up today, okay? Shout out to our amazing photographer, the incredible Liddell. Go check it out. We're releasing some more hotness for y'all.
Yes.
Because the sip is getting ready to blow up, okay?
That's
I know
right.
another word to use. But yes, and so with all of this crazy negative energy that we've been feeling this week, we would be remiss if we did not mention all the good and all the Black girl magic and all the Black magic, just period. So, Carrie, you want to share the
squad?
The squad, honey.
Am I allowed to introduce?
I want you to introduce.
Absolutely. Listen, so you already know, like in the midst of everything going on, we got to recognize our sisters in power, our sisters that are holding it down, our sisters that are not just there to be, a pretty face or to just, or just to just check off the diversity box. No, like actually there to make some things happen and to bring us into a direction where we recognize our humanity. So shout out to the squad for holding it down during these elections. Shout out to the incredible ALC, which I had the honor to meet, and I can't wait to meet again. Shout out to, to Rashida Tlaib, to Ayanna Presley, and to Ilan Omar. Listen, we are out here. We appreciate y'all, everything that you are doing. We know that some people have been added to that. So Corey Bush, we see you, sis.
Yes.
Thank you for everything you've been doing. I know you've been added to the squad. I know there's some other people that have been added as well, but the work continues. The work continues. And we have to make sure that we don't just participate in these elections, but especially if you're a part of those congressional districts or just know your representation in general so that you can help them make sure that you're truly represented throughout the next 4 years or 2 years or 6 years.
That's
so
right.
Big shout out.
Yes. And we also have to shout out Stacey Abrams. For her incredible work in Georgia. Okay? Biden about to win Georgia because of Stacey Abrams. Once again, a Black woman swoops in and saves the day. So we shout out Stacey Abrams. We salute you, sis, for all the work you did. I think she registered something like 1 million new voters in Georgia. So, lady, we see you. Okay? Black women, y'all are our sisters in power. And lastly, I have to highlight this little 12-year-old girl from Brooklyn, New York, who is the youngest composer for the New York Philharmonic, which is one of the greatest orchestras in the entire globe. I'm just going to read a little bit about her. Her name is Grace Moore. She's a 7th grade student at Poly Prep in Diker Heights. She's also soaring to new heights with her passion for classical music. And y'all know I love me some classical music because I am a violinist. So I am just loving that she composed for the New York Phil. Moore describes herself as quiet and shy, but when it comes to her music, she is powerful. In October, she had a world premiere of a piece she created for the New York Philharmonic. It was music that she composed. Moore is a participant of the New York Philharmonic's Very Young Composers Program, a program that teaches people as young as 8 to create music and then have some of the best musicians in the world to perform it. Moore's talent is extraordinary. So we salute you, Gracie.
Yes, I was trying to pull
awesome, awesome. And keep writing music and keep inspiring because this is what it's all about.
And stay tuned to the comments below, y'all. We're going to post both of those. All of our sisters in power, we will post them in the chats later on. So please big them up, share it, and let's spread the word and continue to support our awesome sisters.
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of Sister in Power, can I go ahead and introduce our special guest?
Yes.
I'm so excited, y'all. This sister, also I went to Berkeley with, so it always makes me feel extra special when I get to bring our Berkeley sisters into the space and into the sphere to be celebrated, because there's so many awesome, talented women that we know, especially women of color. So let me let you know about this incredible woman, Haitian American performing artist, Pauline Jean. She's a captivating songstress whose distinctive voice and rousing melodies have caught the attention of audiences both young and old. Pauline brings a refreshing sound to today's music, creating a blend of worldly jazz that draws from her Creole roots and integrates modern and traditional inflections. She has received considerable press globally from leading publications such as Downbeat, Jazzwise, All About Jazz, World Music Report, Jazz Times, and many more. She's performed at several festivals, the St. Lucia Jazz Festival, Dizzy's Club, Coca-Cola, Tchaikovsky Concert Hall, Tel Aviv Museum of Art, Jazz at Lincoln Center, and many more. She has also collaborated with very esteemed artists like Denis Matsuev, Emily Michel, Godwin Luis, Wyclef Jean, among many others. Her latest CD, Noyo, was praised as an amalgam of pure jazz vocalization steeped in Caribbean rhythm and soul by allaboutjazz.com. On August 6, 2020, Pauline debuted her brand new single, Ain't I a Woman Singing Truth? She pays tribute to Sojourner Truth, a powerful force in the fight for justice and equality for both African Americans and all women in the United States. And also, Pauline shares her perspective on music and life as a musician through teaching private students and workshops for singers on all levels in the US and abroad. She travels to Haiti annually with a group of musicians as part of the Experience Haiti mission to provide aid, master classes, free concerts, and instrument distribution throughout different regions of the island. Pauline is a graduate from Berklee College of Music and a cultural musical ambassador worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I love to present to you my dear friend and incredible jazz vocalist, Pauline Jean. Welcome, sis. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much for that beautiful welcome. Thank you so much. You ladies are incredible. I love you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
We are so happy to have you here. And, you know, before we even get into your interview, I want to know how you feel about everything that we just shared just now, girl. What is going on? What's your vibe these days? Lay it on us.
I mean, it's just so crazy with what's going on in the world. The divisiveness, the hate, you know, pinning us against each other. I've seen, you know, it's just been so concentrated during these last 4 years. You know, that, you know, it's like blue states versus red states, and it's just making it like they're evil and this is good. So, you know, that whole atmosphere of just, you know, inciting or igniting or adding fire to something that's already there, but actually in a way feeling that it's justifiable to act in that certain way, and it's just not right. You know, we really need to tap into our humanity and have empathy.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Whether or not you Republican or you're Democrat, you're an independent. We are all human beings first. And put that ahead of everything else, then, you know, we would see more with not our eyes, but the eyes of love, you know? And that's what's missing. That's
what's missing. Amen.
That is
as a musician who has traveled the world, and, you know, you kind of have your foot in 2 different countries, how do you see us making it through this? Are you optimistic? Do you have hope? Do you feel like, America's just going, you know, be disappointing again? Like, what is your take on things?
Well, you know what? I'm an optimist. I'm an optimist in a way, because I look back at our ancestors. You know, again, we're not where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be.
Right.
And that's because of hope. So we do need to have this level of hope to be able to pass it on to the next generation. There's good, there's evil. But if we are just focusing on the evil, we are light. So light has to penetrate through the darkness. Yeah. So we just have to look at it. Is the glass half empty or half full? To me, it's going to be half full. So, you know, because something has to be done. We can all throw our hands in the air and say, this country is going to trash. You guys are horrible, and do nothing about it. But, you know, we have to actually believe in the ancestors, believe in the modern day, you know, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, believe in those that are really pushing the envelope, because it pushes us closer to something, you know,
right.
Nothing. You know.
To a positive destination, right? I mean, if we all threw up our hands and said we were going to leave the country, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, every other day I say, okay, that's it, I'm moving to Canada, but I know good and well I can't, because this is where I come from. This is where I am. Who are you to tell me that I don't belong here? Who are you to tell me that America can't be a country that addresses my needs too?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Can you tell us about how you began? Right? Because I know a little bit about you and how incredible and talented you are. But when did you first begin to sing? How did you first, you know, when did you know that music was your thing? I want to hear more about who's Pauline?
Who's Pauline Jean? Okay, well, you know, honestly, I was very shy. I never imagined I would actually be doing music. But I was raised in church. And I would always sing in the choir or sing with groups. And we would have, like, you know, traveling ministries, you know, prison ministries. But I was always in the background. I was never in the forefront. I didn't mind being in the background, you know. But for some reason, you know, I always tap into God. And, you know, when your life is being directed, there are certain things that are just in place that just pushes you to your destination without even knowing. So when I was, you know, in high school, you know, my sister was like, you know, you should try out for music and art and performing arts. And I was like, nah. You know, I didn't even apply. She says, you know, you should go. I went in as a walk-in.
Wow.
And wow, I wasn't even accepted. So I was like, all right, I'm not accepted. Okay, cool. The next thing, my guidance counselor was like, Pauline, congratulations. You've been accepted to LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts.
What?
Wow, that's so dope.
One of the best, I'm telling you, I was in high school. I didn't have one argument in high school. I was surrounded by the arts.
Wow.
It was so magical for me to just be around.
Yeah.
And, you know, I come from a Caribbean household. Haitian is lawyer, doctor, nurse.
Right.
So that's it.
You know, you know, music, no, never. You know, so I was surrounded by, you know, and that, you know, and I'm always like, okay, I want to do what my parents want me to do. And so I went to St. John's University, and, you know, I was a political science major. I worked in, you know, for many years. And then all of a sudden I said, you know, let me go back to my music roots, because I was always in church. I always take, you know, your church, you sing, you don't really figure that you want to do this as a profession, you know?
Right.
So I said, okay, you know, let me just go back and take some lessons here, you know. I started taking, you know, classes at the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, and I was introduced to jazz.
Yes. Okay, before I ask you more, because I want to hear more about your travel and about, because you've been to Russia, to so many different countries and stuff. But I got a little ahead of myself. We have a question of the day that we like to loop our guests in. Okay, let me pause you. I'm so sorry, Pauline. That's my fault. Go ahead, Joe.
Yes. No, listen, it is an honor, and you have been dropping them gems already. I don't know if you've been seeing the love that you get in the comments, but thank you for being here. So the question I have for today is actually inspired by an Assata Shakur quote that has always kind of kept me going. And the quote says, "Only the strong go crazy, the weak just go alone." And there's this question that I saw for the question of the day, and it says, do you think that there is a connection between creativity and insanity?
That's a good one. What do you think, Pauline?
I'll say yes.
person said it all so true, right?
You know, being an artist, being a creative is actually stepping out of the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, rejecting everything that everybody, it's almost like the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, when you're creative, you're out of that Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be crazy enough to do your art.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
Exactly. Real.
Everything the world believes in. That
Mm-hmm.
9-to-5 grind, that's what the world believes in.
Mm-hmm.
You put money before your art.
Right.
Right.
And so when you're creative and you decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to listen to this anymore. I'm not going to listen to the world anymore. I'm going to go. For me, I felt like this. God gave me a gift. He will make room for me and bring me before great men.
Amen.
When you step, and you hear everybody tell you no, no, no. But when you actually step into it, God says yes, opens up the door, and you are, like for me, never would I imagine that I would travel and see the world, all because I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from a background that you should say no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah.
Come on and preach.
Preach on that.
Insanity,
Okay.
you know, it's perception.
Mm-hmm.
So is it really insanity?
Right.
Courage.
Ooh. Wait, say that one more time, Pauline. Say that one more time.
The organ, okay?
In the back, okay?
Where the organ?
But for real, well, say it again, because people need to understand. Is it, you said, is it insanity or is it courage?
Yes.
Come on now.
Amen.
Yeah.
I'm going to meditate on that.
Yeah,
It is
I'm with
perception.
you.
That's so
It's
true.
perception. What is insanity?
Mm-hmm.
I would,
You know, because some people would think of insanity as like you going crazy, losing your mind, banging your head in the wall.
Right.
No, you're in a straitjacket.
right.
Insanity is going against the grain.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna say something, right, Raj?
Oh, no, I was going to say, Ryan and I have these conversations all the time about seeing something when it isn't there, and like envisioning your dreams or your entrepreneur goals, all that kind of stuff when it isn't there. And I agree with Pauline. You have to have a little bit of insanity to push through and to believe in democracy when we don't have democracy, to believe that, we can unify and that we can do better as a people. I think you need a little bit of insanity to be a creative, so that you can find a path where there is none, or create a path where there is none.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
Oh no! I was just saying I agree 100%. I mean, I think being able to challenge the way in which we are conditioned, right? There are these norms, there are these mores that society has set, and if we decide to swim upstream as opposed to swimming downstream, all of a sudden we're the crazy ones. We're the radical ones to think that something can be done differently, that we can try a different way. And no, I agree 100%. And even like Nicola was saying, like, it's imagination. I work with kids a lot, and I tell them, like, there is a structure out here that is trying to steal your ability to dream, your ability to be yourself, your ability to own your imagination. And that's not, to me, I don't think that's crazy. I think that is who we are as human beings.
Right.
And we've just gotten lost along the way in this journey. And we have tried to condition ourselves so that we can, survive in this world that honestly, has been created for our demise, right?
Yeah.
But when we choose to imagine and dream, like, that's when we're truly innovative. That's when we truly change the world. And I think that, every single one of us are creative in our own right. Every person that's listening is creative in their own right. You just have to challenge yourself to choose to dream once again.
Absolutely.
Come on and preach an entire word.
Y'all did. I have nothing left to say, because I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I think I loved what you said too about, the perception piece, because, what someone looks at insane, another person, that's somebody else's like good feeling. That's like, I made a great decision, and other people like, she's insane. But I think you and I share a little bit of a similar story, Pauline. I started college as a business degree because, the parentals were like, no. And I lied to my parents and told them, and I decided to switch over. And I lied to my parents that I wasn't, like, I'm still a business degree, but I'm a whole violin major. And so to me, they might have thought that was insane, and other people might have thought it was insane for me to leave Kentucky at 22, 23 and, start this music career in a city I didn't know anybody and all these things. But I love that it's the courage piece. And so thank you for sharing your story, and also thank you for your perspective, because I really think people are getting some gems right now.
Thank you.
Did y'all have another question for her before I go on? Okay, so Pauline, I wanted to know, I mean, you talked about, how you got your studies, and then you and I met at Berkeley, but I believe that you're initially from New York, right?
Yes, I'm from New York.
How did you get to Berkeley? How did that happen?
Girl.
Right?
Again, stepping out of my comfort zone. A good friend of mine was like, Pauline, I saw you for the first time. I performed at this little club, and I just gravitated to the music. I heard Sarah Vaughan and I would sing, I would imitate her. I didn't know that was something huge. It came easy to me. It made me happy. I enjoyed it. And I did my first show. And my friend said, Pauline, your time is now. You should. I was like, I waited a couple of years, and I said, you know what? Look, you're in a position where you're not really tied down, because when you have responsibilities, you can't just go and do any and everything. Sometimes things take the back seat. But I said, you know what? Let me do it. And I did what I had to do. And believe it or not, to me, everything is spiritual. The day I was supposed to go to Berkeley to check it out, I heard a voice that said, I will never leave you nor forsake you no matter where you go.
Ooh.
To myself, I'll go. And I would be all right. Coming from that background of like a Caribbean background household, even though you're like older, you're always home and you're kind of sheltered in a way. But I was like, no, let me pursue music. The best thing ever. Because I met Larry Taz at that time.
I know, right?
We used to call her Taz. But and I met so many wonderful people, and I've been able to, share the world with a lot of different people and perform. And again, it was just that leap of faith. It's not easy being an artist. Don't get me wrong. But I think if you just really stick to it and you are really true to who you are, it's not about hitting the numbers and the followers and all of that. You really just need to just be immersed in in your music, in your artistry. That's right. And so that's how I got to Berkeley. And after Berkeley, I never had a 9-to-5 after that.
I remember us sitting in the Uchida building, and we were talking with Claudia Eliaza, who we were actually, and we still need to do it. We were talking about doing a show where we celebrated the music of Nina, Sarah, and Alfella. Yeah, we still are going to do that show. So Beantown, look out, because we just never got a chance to. But I remember we were talking at that time, and it was before you went back to New York. And you said to me, I'm going back to New York. I'm not getting a full-time job. I'm going to do this thing for real. And since then, I have seen you literally travel the globe, girl, and just do the most amazing things. I'm so excited for you, sis.
I'm excited for you too.
Tell me.
And you all together, so you guys are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And I love your videos too. I mean, you bring the videos on, Roger Larry. You do. You create anthems, and I celebrate you as well, all you ladies and your artistry. Because that's what's gonna actually make the world move forward.
Yes.
Our art. I remember Armstead Christian, God rest his soul, and he had a class called Poetry. To us, You have your music, you can sing, you can do all of this. But what about, what's your platform? What are you going to do? What are you going to say? What's your voice?
Right.
And then that's, to me, is I focus more on the mission as opposed to just, singing for just the sake of singing. You got a talent.
Right.
You it's not this gift is not about you. It's not for you. It's moving through you.
That's right.
And once we accept and see that, it allows us to just, share with the world. And then it's like tolerance happens. The spirit just moves, because I think that your art is spirit.
I was gonna ask you, because you create a lot of transformational songs, and it seems like your music has taken you across the globe. Can you talk a little bit about Experience IET and what, how have you used your music to then affect change, and what is happening with that organization now?
Oh, yes. Well, Experience IET, we started it, Godwin Louis, a fellow Berkeley Knight, and myself and two other, Haitian artists. We actually started this organization. We wanted to do something for our, my family, my descendants, my ancestors, and we wanted to do something for the community. It's been hit hard in so many different ways, and there's so many talent. And we also feel that music, Haiti is very powerful with its history and its legacy and its contribution to the Americas, which is jazz. And, and the whole history of the migration from Haiti to Cuba to New Orleans. If it wasn't for Haiti, there wouldn't be New Orleans.
Come on and say it. Okay.
So Congo Square was with, the Africans, those that were now Haitians, because now they lived in a new world. And then this whole thing started to create, and so it could go on and forth. But I felt I feel like I need to contribute back in some ways. So we go back every year. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go this year and last year because of the political stuff that goes on here and there. And and then the coronavirus, what's happening right now. But normally we go every December. But even if we don't go, we do have people in the grounds, doing workshops. We have that connection out there. So, I feel like I just need to contribute somehow, to everywhere, anywhere.
Is there a way that people can support your organization? Are you guys taking donations now, or maybe it's just to get the word out? Yeah.
Absolutely. It's on www.experienceaiti.org. Not-for-profit organization. And then there's a /donate. You can donate. You can go online and actually see a lot of the things that we do. Food distribution, because before you can teach, you got to feed, so however we can do. And we also want them to see that, we're just like you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go there with a mindset of teaching you. Let me teach you what I know.
Right.
No, I want that cultural and musical exchange to go on. And so that's what happens in Haiti. And in everywhere, you do master classes. That I go with that mind frame.
Let's talk about this single, sis. Let's talk about Ain't I a Woman, Honey, because someone just said that your singing about Sojourner Truth is so beautiful. Listen, how did the song come about? What made you do it? Tell us about, this is a new single that you just released, right?
Yes, I actually released it in August. I released it, because the centennial for the women's voting rights was 600 years. But I released it on August 26th, 9th, because that was representative of when African-American women were able to vote. August 26, 1965. So Sojourner Truth set down the foundation because she was in the fight for women's rights and all that back then with Susan B. Anthony and all of the pioneers. But again, they don't really get the recognition. She's getting recognition now, but you know, but a lot of Black women were very vital in, you know, in women's rights and voting rights. But Sojourner Truth, to me, she was so courageous. She was so, I mean, she was like one of the first to actually go out and speak against slavery.
Right.
They were crazy. That's insane.
Right. Come on now.
Right.
Right.
Here we go. Here's this woman in New York City, Ulster County, who was enslaved for about 30 years, sexually abused, gone through any and everything. And she said, you know what? I have a mission. She had a connection with God. She changed her name from Isabella Humphrey to Sojourner Truth.
Yes.
She felt that truth needs to go out. And she spoke out against, you know, the evils of slavery. She spoke up for those who couldn't speak for themselves. And to me, I felt I'm a history buff, so I could the history. And so she inspired me so much. And I'm like, you know what? With the women's right movement, it wasn't for Black women. So, you know, so 1965, Sojourner Truth was able to see her vision materialize. I mean, she passed on, but that's when her vision materialized. And women have been so quiet for so long in history, but they've been a quiet force. Just like Stacey Abrams.
Come on now.
You know, what, you know, to be able to get 800,000 people to register to vote. Georgia, which sets the pace of what's happening right now.
That's right.
You know? So, I mean, we stand on the shoulders of these women, of these type of women. And so I was inspired to write about her, and it was based on the speech.
Right.
She said, "Ain't I a woman? I'm just like you." You know, ain't I a woman? And he says, you know, in the speech, he goes, you know, he says, "I'm not a woman because, you know, I don't have rights." And Christ, you know, you're just, you know, Christ, you're not like Christ. You don't have rights. Right. He basically said, but, well, who made Christ? God and a woman. Man had nothing.
Come on now. Come on now.
Preach, honey.
God and a woman. I love that. Now, Pauline, you've also been awarded for your interpretation and your tributes to Nina Simone. And I just did not want to let that pass without noting that, because you have done some incredible musical work and tribute to Nina Simone. And can you talk about how that project also came to be?
Berkeley, started at Berkeley.
Right.
I'll tell you, it was Cornell West. Berkeley was they changed the mission statement at Berkeley to make sure that, you know, that jazz was founded under through African American, the whole culture.
Right.
And they changed the mission statement, so they had this Black women in music. And I mean, Nina Simone. I did 4 women. Let me tell you, after 4 women, I just kept on doing Nina Simone forever.
Yes, honey.
I mean, she speaks to me. I don't know. These women, when something speaks to me, it's like I don't know. It's just almost like you're giving a mantle, like the torch is passed on. It's almost, I feel like you don't choose music, or you don't, it chooses you. It really does. And I mean, a lot of people are doing Nina Simone now, but like back then,
not the way you do is this.
So,
and you know, I have one more question for you, and then I'm gonna ask the ladies to weigh in. But I would like, as a singer, for you to speak to the power of your unique voice, because I think you and I, and even Claudia, we talked about this a lot. Even at Berkeley, we didn't sound like the traditional BET singers. You had a very low alto, rich voice. I had it was kind of like Shaka, but a little bit of jazz. Like I had a very different sound. Claudia had a very different sound. And somehow we found a way to celebrate ourselves. How have you stayed true to your own unique voice in the industry and still been successful?
You know, interestingly enough, I'll just give you, when I was very young, Well, yeah, I'm still young.
That's right.
I never liked my voice. I wanted to sing the high soprano. I didn't understand the uniqueness of my sound until my teacher, Diane Richardson, my mentor, she said, Pauline, do you know what, feel this material. And I felt her material, and it was a nice polyester material. And she goes, do you know what velvet is like? She was like, that's your voice. And I was like, when you don't really understand your sound, or, because you're too busy trying to hear other people, you get lost and then you're trying to do something that's not you. So it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Another example, my first teacher that was teaching me music and voice, my first lesson was, Pauline, you sing from this note to this note, and I didn't know anything about range. All I knew was I sang. Right. But you sing from this low note to this high note. And he said to me, Pauline, when you stand before the Father and he asks you, what have you done with your gift? What are you saying? That was my first lesson.
Come on now.
Anytime I do these gems, it starts to make me focus on, okay, I need to focus on my sound. I love to learn and imitate and, sing like a lot of other artists. Don't get me wrong, because you need to listen to the masters and the greats. Right. But you also need to accept yourself as an artist. When you now know that I am an artist, I am an artist. What is your sound? And embrace that sound.
That's right.
So I started to embrace my lowness.
Yes,
and I was afraid of my highness. I started to embrace my highness too. And and again, you're always working on your instrument.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, Pauline, this is my sound. Like when you hear me, you're like, oh, this is Pauline. It's not anybody else. When I hear you, Roger Larry, I say, this is Roger Larry. I don't hear anybody else.
Right.
And so like with Diane Reeves, I love Diane Reeves. I love you, Diane. Again, she's very inspirational because she has a distinct sound. And so I think for the singers out there, be true to who you are. Know who you are. Know what's your purpose. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Remove the naysayers and just have like blockers.
That's right.
Stop looking at everybody else and start focusing on you and perfecting you as a human being, and the rest will work. And work on your gifts. Take your voice lessons. Do whatever you need to do to plant the seed. God will do the rest. That's how I look at it.
Yes. I always say the best thing I learned about being at Berklee was that nobody sounds like me, and that I have my own unique sound. And if you can move as a musician in that way, you'll be awesome and successful, girl. And I love your voice. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love that. Oh,
you got to share that comment. Go ahead.
Oh.
I love you.
Diane, you just made Pauline's entire day.
I got to snapshot this. Wait.
Oh, you want to screenshot it? Sorry.
I gotta put this up. I love
it, honey.
It's coming. Smile, everybody.
Oh man, that is beautiful. And if I could ask a quick question, just kind of riding that wave right there. It's beautiful to be able to see Black and brown people, in spite of everything going on in the world right now, the joy, the laughter, the love that we're still sharing and that we continue to share. We do that so much through our music, right? We take so much pain and we turn it into beautiful things.
Yeah.
And I was just curious to know, how are you keeping yourself grounded? How are you keeping yourself at peace? What are the things that you want to share with people to just, make sure that we are holding on to our joy and our peace?
Wow, that's a good question. This year has been so difficult for so many people as well, for the world. I lost my father this year too.
Oh,
To
so
dementia.
sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. But you know what? I really feel it's I can't do anything out just by myself. I really feel for me, I use prayer. I feel like I need to connect to God. This situation has got me being able to appreciate my friends and my family. I don't take anything for granted anymore. Let me tell you something. When this thing opens up I'm running to the
Right.
you know, like,
Everybody.
Facts.
you look at things differently. You have to love more. You have to appreciate more, and unfortunately, death is a part of life. I get that. And it's hard to lose, but then at the same time, I always look at it, our loved ones has transitioned. They're not gone. They've transitioned from the physical to the spirit.
That's right.
So, I keep myself grounded like that. My mother, my family, my friends, the prayers, again, for me, it goes there. My music, anything that I'm like deeply involved in, I just don't take it for granted anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just really grateful to life, to life, to health.
Yeah.
And really, it's a struggle for a lot of people, and a lot of people are going through, but that's how I have to keep grounded. I have to keep grounded as to what was done for me before, and how, things will look up. This too shall pass. And slowly but surely kind of feed myself with positive affirmations.
Yeah.
Looking at positive, shows, movies, getting together like this with positive women, and because this was what it's all about.
That's right.
At the end of the day. And this pandemic shows you, listen, your job can be taken away from you in a quick, whatever
Talk about it.
depended on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? It doesn't mean a thing if you don't have love in your life, and if you don't have family, if you don't have people.
That's right.
So we really need to appreciate our loved ones and don't take these things for granted.
Well said.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautifully said. And I think this is going to inspire so many folks, because I think it's easy to kind of fall in that cave of emotions, because this is new for a lot of folks. But I just love your positivity around it, and really focusing on what we're grateful for. I mean, this year has been very similar for me, but I got my 2 babies at home that I'm seeing so much more this year. I'm spending more time with my husband, more time with my friends. We have our podcast, and, being intentional about that work. And so thank you so much for sharing that. And I just love your perspective. It's really dope.
Thanks.
You are welcome.
And there's so much that I think is amazing about the way that you see things, Pauline. You have always been such a soothing balm to anybody who's near you. And I think the way that we started this episode out and the way that we're ending it is such a positive. But we appreciate you for bringing our Ben tonight, because we sure came with the fire,
Amen to that. Amen to that.
You can be both, you can be both. You can have a moment of weakness. You can have a moment of needing to vent and get things off your chest. And then you release that. And you release that, and you get the positive, and you soak that up. Because like you said, this too shall pass. And, hopefully we get some good news within the next 24 hours and 48 hours. But even if we don't, we still got each other.
Exactly.
This podcast is not going to stop.
No,
what we're doing is not going to stop. The ways in which we build our lives, our music, our voices, everything that we have to give is not going to stop. So this is just fueling us to keep reaching and keep going and being consistent.
Absolutely.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask a little fun question, like, who's on your playlist now, sis? Like, and who are some people that, I'm sure that you are inspired by the greats, But who's on your playlist where somebody say, really, word? You listen? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
some people would be surprised by.
Yes.
Oh man, let's see. Jeez.
Pauline's so straight laced. So even in college,
I think I should say shout out to Franny. What's up, sis?
Hey, Franny.
What's up, Franny?
Well, I mean, oh my goodness. Of course, I'm listening to some Sarah Vaughan now. I always listen to her.
But you don't listen to nothing ratchet, Pauline. Come on now. You don't listen to
I love
Oh
my Afrobeat.
God.
Don't get me wrong. I love my Afrobeat. I be listening to
Honey,
that.
yes.
Oh
yeah,
man.
who's your favorite Afrobeat person?
Oh man. Oh man. I don't really know the names much.
All right, that's okay.
Right.
I'm with you. That's me. I'm just like.
I mean, but I do appreciate our fellow Berkeley Tiwa Savage. Shout out to Tiwa.
Yes, come on, Tiwa. Shout out to Tiwa.
Shout out to Tiwa. But I don't know. Like for me, I'm an educator as well, so I teach my kids. There's for those who have little kids, there's a educational tool with these two children called Fino and Bino.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I heard of that. I love it.
I teach my kids dance and all that with a lot of these Afro beats. So I mean, I'm doing a lot of Afro beat and right now, and for the most part, yeah, that's about it. Like right now, some jazz, Afro beat,
So you heard it here first, y'all.
Watching
surviving the post-election by listening to Fino and Bino, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on. You watching any ratchet TV? What you watching?
Right.
You know what? I love my African movies.
Okay. There's a lot on Netflix now.
Yes. I love my African movies. It's all good. Let me tell you. Because I love to see our Black people in beautiful homes.
Yes.
And in jobs and the culture and for some reason I gravitate to the kings and the queens.
Yes.
And with a little bit of the drama.
Yes.
And gotta love the drama.
So, listen, on Inauguration Day, January 2021, I need like a Wakanda Forever like performance. I need Black folks to show up and show out. There's assuming that Biden wins, but I need the drums, I need the dancers,
all of it.
Honestly, either way, we
right.
Let me tell you, it's within the DNA. As long as there are drums, we gonna move.
Right.
That's real.
I feel like it's like, what is it? The Michael Jackson video with when he did, Remember the Time?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Coming to America, all of that.
Listen, let me tell y'all, when I was a kid, I used to have to sneak and watch MTV and all that because y'all know.
Same.
I would try to learn these dances, like Thriller. You couldn't tell me nothing. When Remember the Time came out, I was like, I'm gonna get this little Egyptian dance, okay? I was like trying to figure it out.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Fabulous.
Well, sis, we just thank you so much for being here and for bringing the balm and the calm and the zen that we needed tonight. I just thank you. Like I hope that y'all feel as encouraged and as emboldened and as soothed as we hope you would from this whole thing. Please, y'all, share this episode. Let people know who the incredible Pauline Jean is.
Yes.
Definitely check out her new single, y'all. Go to her website, www.paulinejean.com. And just support your local sisters out here doing some amazing work, y'all.
Thank you.
So much love.
That's right.
Thank you, lady.
No, that's it, y'all. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. Yeah. Be sure to follow us on the SIP_podcast. Be sure to check out our website, thesippodcast.com. And just, continue to be engaged and be engaged with each other. Take care of each other this a lot of the wild things going on right now. We need each other.
That's
so
right.
I just want to leave y'all with that. But we'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. Much love,
And
man.
thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Thank you for everybody who commented and all of your engagement. Just so much love to each of you. And we can't end this without saying we salute you, Pauline, as our sister in power. Much love to you. Everybody have a beautiful weekend and pray, okay? Pray.
One last thing I want to say. I'm praying to the African and the Latin American angels of Paula White to come down and smite Donald Trump. I need you to come through, Jesus, in the right direction now.
Yes.
The ancestors from Africa.
Carrie, you stupid.
I love y'all.
Oh, man.
Y'all, we'll see you next week.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye. Much love, everyone.